Is Arne Slot still the right man for Liverpool? Liverpool fans, wow. The mood right now is rough. Arne Slot is under massive pressure. Pundits are ripping into him, Mo Salah's ripping into him, and people are saying he's got days, literally days, left in the job. But here's the thing, I actually think he's the right man to carry Liverpool, not only through last season and this season, but for future seasons to come. I'm going to explain why I think Arne Slot is the right man to guide Liverpool into infinity and beyond for the next generation, even if everything around him right now looks and sounds and is pure chaos. Let's talk football, let's be honest, and let's break this thing down properly. So, to give everyone watching this video context, Slot walks into one of the hardest jobs, not only in Europe, but in world football. One of the most successful teams in England, Liverpool, well established, won nearly everything there is to win, if not everything there is to win in the game that they can legally challenge for. However, let's forget the Premier League just for 1 second, Champions League, everything. Forget about it all. Last season, this guy replaced Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp, the same cult hero, living legend of the football club, completely reinvigorated the flames that burnt underneath Anfield and grew that team, the club, and he made it special again to visit Anfield. Arne Slot had to come in and replace that. He was dealing with a new squad, completely didn't know any of the players, barely even knew the Dutch players that were there. He'd come from Feyenoord, where he did play a 4-3-3, but it was still new tactical demands on him because he knew that he'd have certain players to play in certain areas, and the way he liked to play didn't necessarily fit to how Liverpool started under Klopp and what they were used to. There was also exceedingly high expectations. I mean, it's one of the, if not the most successful club in England. Trophies are a must, high finishes are a must, getting deep into Champions League is a must. Also, he's joining a league where mistakes are heavily criticised and punished, even unfairly sometimes, every single game. You have one bad game, that's always Slot the right man for the job. Should he still be in the job? Do you think he's tactically inept? And more importantly, this is still a fan base that is emotionally attached to Jurgen Klopp. Even though Jurgen Klopp had nothing to do with Liverpool just this season gone, he was still there to celebrate with the players, to get involved. So Liverpool weren't just adjusting to a new manager. They're adjusting for a completely new, different era. Right. Let's be fair. The criticism is justified. The performances haven't been good enough from a lot of the key players and the team. Defensively, we look confused. Van Dijk's having to cover left back when Kerkez starts, and he's just not as quick as he once was, maybe. I don't know if it's because of the covering, or maybe Kanate is just letting himself down, so Van Dijk's literally going, which way should I go? Defensively, they look confused. Going forward, they're inconsistent. The patterns of the runs are so inconsistent. Literally, results have also been poor. There was a lot of games that got away with at the start, but since then, it's been bad. Pundits are saying that Slot doesn't even know his best 11. There's been that many people calling for Salah to be dropped, and he has been dropped. And even fans are arguing that the identity is gone. They don't even recognise themselves anymore. They don't recognise what the team are doing. They're playing for the badge. They're questioning everything. And now you've got headlines saying the guy's got a week left in his job. So I do get why people are unhappy and why fans are disappointed in how the team have been playing. It's frustrating. Watching the team look literally this disjointed after winning a Premier League is crazy. We've not seen this for a number of years. But especially when your expectations are up here, it's just not acceptable to be playing down here. So let's park that there and just step back and look at why Slot, and look at Slot himself. Because despite what the table might say, he is a genuinely talented manager. So at his previous clubs, he was known for developing youth, bringing young players in, letting them play, getting game time, getting more out of the individuals season after season after season. Also playing a flexible, more modern football, 4-3-3, also clear tactical communication. You know exactly what you want to do under Slot. This bloke didn't just fall into the Liverpool job. He was on a short list of people that earned it, along with Alonso and also Ruben Amorim, who, if we look down the M60, ain't doing too well himself. But what I really like about Slot is the work he does day to day. He's hands-on in training, running the sessions. He's detailed. He wants patterns, he wants structures around the parts of the pitch where we will have the ball and keep possession. He's not just some, oh, I'm just here for the good time manager. He's methodical in everything he does, and you've seen that in his punditry work. Again, Liverpool didn't just hire this guy as a quick fix. They hired him because he was a long-term footballing idea. Now let's get into why Liverpool are actually struggling now. Because it's not just as simple as, oh, Arne Slot's bad and doesn't know his best 11 and doesn't know how to run the team. There are obviously real big issues behind the scenes at the club. The defence has been an injury circus almost. Joe Gomez, never fit, no replacement for Konate. You can't build stability when you have no one to fit the round holes. It also doesn't help that we've not had a consistent back four. It has changed every single game. A lot of the new players that he's signed are still trying to basically learn the new tactical system that he's trying to implement now. That whether that be the transitions, the pressure triggers, the build-up patterns, these things take time. Also, your key players are bang out of form. Have we ever seen a season where Van Dijk has looked this vulnerable at the back? But we've also got King Mo up at the top, who recently, if you've seen, had a massive interview that basically said, someone wants me out the club, I'm no good anymore, I've been dropped. But then he contradicts himself by saying he earned this position, so he should be in the team, but he's not bigger than anyone else. Mo, that's a contradiction. I think he's one of the best players to have ever worn the Liverpool shirt, but you can't do that. The psychological hangover from the Klopp era is real. The squad's gone from a father-like figure who knew everyone for 10 years, knew everyone's name. It's gone to a completely new, different person. It's a new voice. This transition is emotional, not to mention the loss of Diogo Jota. Also, the pressure behind the club with the expectations that Liverpool naturally have is insurmountable. Every bad game becomes a crisis or a buzzword for Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville to go on about. And you just look, when Slot's asked at the end of every game, do you think we could do something possibly in the defence? You know, you're conceding a lot of goals. His first response is always, I literally have 5 defenders. This tells you everything you need to know. Without a settled back line, any system in football doesn't work. The thing is, this is the heart of my argument. Slot hasn't even had enough time in the job. Think back, 2015, Klopp wasn't an instant success. Look elsewhere, Arteta wasn't an instant success. Modern football has tricked us football fans, the football community, into thinking that instant results are a must. But real systems, I mean real footballing identities, need seasons, not weeks.
Of course, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you!
But Liverpool are in a transitional period, whether you'd like to admit it to yourself or not. They just are. If you sack Slot tomorrow, you reset the entire reset. You need a new manager, new ideas, new transfers, new philosophy altogether. And guess what? At the end of it all, you're right back at square one next season. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that Arne Slot is perfect. There are things that he must work on and work out if he wants to stay at the helm. Now, this will be obvious to football fans, but he clearly needs a more structured defence, a consistent starting 11 that not only he believes in, they believe in, and we believe in, better in-game management. Look at the game against Leeds, and to also send a message that underperforming players aren't untouchable. And I'm talking about one person and one person only in this point. These are the non-negotiables. If he doesn't improve these areas, even me sat here I will find it incredibly difficult to support him. But right now, I see a man that's got a long-term vision, trying to implement exactly what he wants. He's bought players that he and the directors at football have thought would fit Liverpool for the next few years. So give them time to gel, to mesh. So here's the truth. I still believe that Slot's the right man for Liverpool. Not because everything is working at this point, but we've had success and the potential to get even better than we have been is there. You can see the flashes of what he wants. Quicker combinations within the midfield and defence to set the wingers off to potentially score more goals. Intelligent pressing. I don't think we can really slight Dominic Szoboszlai at this point this season. He's been fantastic, one of the best players. Also Etitike, if you watch him, Hugo, he's great at pressing. And also calmer patterns of football instead of pure chaos. So rather than just whipping a ball in from the right, from the left like we used to with Trent and try and get the second ball, we tend to now sort of structurally pass it around in sort of a C shape, whichever way you go around. And whenever we see an opening within that C, we try to attack. But the team just isn't consistent yet. And Liverpool have always thrived under managers that have been given the right amount of time. Klopp was allowed to build. Rafa Benitez was allowed to build. Even Rodgers got time before things just fell apart after losing out on the league. Slot deserves that patience. He's won the Premier League, something that Rafa and Brendan never did. But this is just my take, and it turns out I actually want to know what yours is. Should Liverpool stick with Arne Slot and give him time to build and come good? Or is it time to make a change because things maybe get worse or maybe go further downhill? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this debate is going to get spicy, and I've also got a free giveaway for a member that I pick out in the comments with the best comment. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, share, subscribe. This has been Jack at Redhead Ramble, and I'll see you in the next one.